Hello everyone, welcome back to Bridge is for Everyone. My name's Jad. This is topic 5 in the extensions series. The topic for this video is Roman keycard Blackwood. This video is a necessary prerequisite for my upcoming series 2 over 1. Let's start by looking at an example of the problem that Roman keycard Blackwood is trying to solve. This is board E5A. Partner is the dealer. Here is your hand. As always, you value your hand. You have 19 high card points and 0 long points for a total of 19 points. Your only short suit is the Doubleton Diamond, so your hand is balanced. And you have 2 biddable suits, spades and clubs. Partner opens the bidding with 1 heart, and East passes. It's your turn to bid. You interpret partner's bid. Partner's bid shows 13 to 21 points and 5 or more hearts. You realise that you have a heart fit and immediately revalue your hand. You replace your 0 long points with 1 dummy point for a new total of 20 points. You add these to partner's minimum of 13 points for a partnership total of at least 33 points. This is enough for a small slam. But before you bid the slam, you need to make sure of 2 things. First, you need to make sure you have first or second round control in all the side suits. You saw how to do this in episode 4. If the trump suit is agreed and known by both partners, you can use Italian control bids. But this time that is unnecessary because you have first or second round control in all the side suits. Second, you must also check that you are not missing 2 aces. You know you can use the Blackwood convention for this. You bid for no trump. Your bid agrees partner's heart suit and asks partner for an ace count. West passes. Partner bids 5 hearts and East passes. It's your turn to bid. You interpret partner's bid. Partner's bid shows 2 aces, so you know that your partnership holds all the aces. Confidently, you bid 6 hearts. West passes. Partner passes. And East passes to end the auction. The contract is 6 hearts by North. Instead of playing this hand through, let's just look at the trump suit in each hand. Your hand is on the table, so West can see the ace of trumps. West knows that the king and queen of trumps will each win a trick. You cannot make this contract. You checked for controls and aces, so what went wrong? Let's identify the problem. You lost because your partnership was missing the trump king and the trump queen. So, is there a solution to this problem? The solution is to replace your standard Blackwood convention with Roman keycard Blackwood. This is often abbreviated as RKCB. Now let's see how it works. As with regular Blackwood, the initiating bid is for no trump. But instead of asking for a count of aces, Roman keycard Blackwood is asking for a count of key cards. There are 5 key cards, the 4 aces and the king of trumps. So, in order to use Roman keycard Blackwood, both partners must know which suit will be trumps. There are two different response systems. The most common one, and the one I prefer, is called 1430. The reason for this name will soon be obvious. Responses are based on the number of key cards held. Each response has two possible meanings. You will need to look at your own hand and partner's bids to know which of the two possibilities is correct. Usually, this is very easy. With 1 or 4 key cards, respond with 5 clubs. That's the 14 part of the name. With 0 or 3 key cards, respond with 5 diamonds. That's the 30 part of the name. With 2 key cards, there are 2 different possible responses, 5 hearts and 5 spades. In the very rare case where partner holds all 5 key cards, the responses are the same as holding 2 key cards. I have never seen this happen. With 2 key cards, if you also have the trump queen, you respond with 5 spades. And without the trump queen, you respond with 5 hearts. Before we go further, let's see Roman keycard Blackwood in action. Let's go back to board E5A. We rejoin the bidding at the point where you bid a Blackwood for no trump last time. This time, you and partner are using Roman keycard Blackwood. You bid for no trump. West passes, partner bids 5 hearts, and East passes. It's your turn to bid. You interpret partner's bid. Partner's bid shows 2 key cards and not the trump queen. Your hand has another 2 key cards, but not the trump queen. Overall, the partnership is missing 1 key card and the trump queen. The key card could be an ace or the trump king. Either way, it is almost certain that you will lose 1 trick to the key card and could lose another to the trump queen. The likelihood of success in a small slam in this situation is about 60%. That is too low. You need to stop in the agreed trump suit, hearts, as soon as possible. Partner's last bid was 5 hearts, so you pass. And West passes to end the auction. The contract is 5 hearts by North. Even if you lose tricks to the outstanding key card and the trump queen, you will still make your contract and earn a game score. Roman keycard Blackwood checks your partnership for an ace count and the trump king. And because partner had 2 key cards, the reply also included a response for the trump queen. If partner doesn't have 2 key cards, then the Roman keycard Blackwood reply will not tell you about the trump queen. But there is a way to ask partner about it. Let's look at how to do this with another example. This is board E5B. Once again, partner is the dealer. Here is your hand. Your hand is even stronger than last time because the king of diamonds has been replaced by the ace. The auction starts with the same calls as the previous board. We join as partner is about to reply to your Roman keycard Blackwood bid of 4 no trump. Partner bids 5 clubs, and East passes. It's your turn to bid. You interpret partner's bid. Partner's bid shows 1 or 4 key cards. So which is it? You have 3 key cards, so partner cannot have 4. Partner has one keycard. Your partnership is missing one keycard and may also be missing the trump queen. You need to ask partner about it. You do this by bidding the cheapest non-trump suit. For you, this is now diamonds. You bid 5 diamonds. And West passes. It's partner's turn to bid. This bid will tell you about the trump queen. If partner bids trumps, that bid denies holding the trump queen. Any other bid shows that partner holds the trump queen. Partner bids 6 clubs and East passes. It's your turn to bid. You interpret partner's bid. Partner did not bid hearts, so you know that partner holds the trump queen. But partner chose to bid clubs. What does this mean? The bid of clubs shows that partner also holds the king of clubs. I recommend that this reply should always show the cheapest king held in a side suit. So by not bidding 5 spades, partner also denies holding the king of spades. This is to be expected because you have the king of spades. This is a great deal of information for one bid. You are only missing one keycard, so a small slam is very likely to succeed. You bid 6 hearts. West passes, partner passes, and East passes to end the auction. The contract is 6 hearts by North. Let's look at what partner's bidding has promised. Partner definitely has the Queen of Hearts and the King of Clubs. And partner also has one keycard, either the Ace of Spades to strengthen our spade suit, or the King of Hearts to strengthen our trumps. Either way, the contract looks good. The 2 examples you've seen here don't cover every possibility, so let's look at a few outstanding questions. First, how do you reply if asked about the trump queen if you hold no kings in side suits? The answer is bid 5 no trump if you hold the trump queen. Second, how do you make sure the response doesn't force you into a bad slam? That is, a slam where you know you don't have the necessary cards. The answer is the same as standard Blackwood. Don't ask a question if any of the possible answers could be troublesome. You must consider all possible replies before you bid Roman keycard Blackwood, and again before you ask about the trump queen. Third, what do you do if your opponents interfere by doubling your 4 no trump bid? If your opponents interfere with a double of your 4 no trump, you can simply ignore the call, or you can use specific responses to punish them for their interference. Until you are very experienced with this convention, I recommend simply ignoring the double. Fourth, if your opponents interfere by making an overcall after your 4 no trump bid, you cannot simply ignore it. This happens rarely, but it is possible if your opponents have a long suit. In this case, I recommend you use depot. Depot means double with an even number of key cards and pass with an odd number of key cards. This will ensure that you are not forced into a bad slam. Question 5 is about asking for kings. You saw in the standard Blackwood that after asking for aces, you could ask partner for a king count by bidding 5 no trump if you were considering a Grand Slam contract. Because the trump king is a keycard, asking for kings in Roman keycard Blackwood only asks about the side kings. If the bid is still available, asking about kings in Roman keycard Blackwood is also done with 5 no trump. In standard Blackwood, you could only ask for kings if you knew that the partnership held all the aces. In Roman keycard Blackwood, the requirement is even stronger. You must know that the partnership holds all 5 keycards and the trump queen. There are 2 different systems for replying to the 5 no trump king bid. The first is to use the same replies as standard Blackwood. The second is to bid your cheapest side king. Because there are only 3 kings to consider, I prefer this method. It conveys more precise information, which can be very helpful when considering a Grand Slam. Whichever you choose, make sure that partner is using the same system. And the final question deals with responding with a void. There are standard replies to Roman keycard Blackwood which show a void, but they are bids at or above 5 no trump. So they all force the partnership into a small slam. This means that they are only useful when seeking a Grand Slam and can force even experienced players into a bad slam. I do not recommend that you use them. Roman keycard Blackwood can be daunting at first, but it is very logical and sensible. Nonetheless, it is a big topic and was the subject of an entire book by the late brilliant player Eddie Cantor. It is absolutely essential that you discuss and agree how you will use it with partner. Now, let's summarise the requirements for making a Roman keycard Blackwood bid of 4 no trump. There must be a previously agreed trump suit, or the 4 no trump bid itself must agree a trump suit. The partnership must have enough or almost enough points for slam. And you must have first or second round control of all the side suits. The previous topic in this series showed you how to do that with Italian control bids. Now let's look at the gains from using Roman keycard Blackwood. As you have seen from the examples, the primary gain is to avoid bad slam contracts. Now let's consider what is lost by using this convention. Roman keycard Blackwood is more complex than standard Blackwood. This increased complexity can lead to more misunderstandings and is therefore a loss for the partnership. In the system I have explained throughout this channel, Roman keycard Blackwood completely replaces standard Blackwood. So standard Blackwood can be considered a loss. Other than standard Blackwood, Roman keycard Blackwood is fully compatible with everything I've covered on this channel. Roman keycard Blackwood is extremely valuable. In competitive play, it will give you a distinct advantage over standard Blackwood. I highly recommend including it in your bidding system when you are experienced enough to implement it reliably. You should ensure that your system card is marked as using Roman keycard Blackwood 1430. This video explained how and when to use Roman keycard Blackwood when seeking a slam. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to this channel. Until next time, this is Jad reminding you that bridge is for everyone.